Hey y'all, this is Fix It with Fran, where I talk about all things faith, family, food, and fun. It is Thursday night. I have had a very long day, but I am doing this video because if I don't do it now, then these plants are going to be pretty bad off by the time I get around to these. Like next week sometime, I'm going to have another pause in my life. I guess it's my other phone going off. I'm on task. So yes, this is Fix It with Fran, where I talk about all things faith, family, food, and fun. Busy mom, busy wife, busy life. And I have an unboxing. And you know, as plant people get excited when it says live plants. So here is what's going on. I am not going to like move the camera and do all that stuff. So, because I'm tired and I'm doing this because I'm committed. But let me see what's going on my phone. Okay. All right. Blessed be. And we're going to mute this one way or the other. And I could stop this and I could edit it. But I'm not. Y'all gonna get it live, raw, uncut, like I give it to y'all. Not live, but you know, the real deal footage. Also because editing takes so much time. So why not just let y'all see how it really goes down? This order, speaking of busy mom, busy wife, happy life, all that, is my Mother's Day gift to myself. So for so many weeks, I've been sharing with y'all my journey and experience with growing African violets. And my backstory is that I got some random African violets back in 2018. And I was trying to figure out how to get them to bloom again for me because one had bloomed for me in 2019, like right before I had Monica in September. And the other one was just growing, but not really looking lush. And the one that bloomed before Monica was born still didn't do anything in 2020. So I wanted to know something better. So I had been on Optimara's website and I had been looking at the associated plants that you could buy with them. Sorry, you're getting a real reaction here because I had not opened the box and this is open for the first time. I needed this today, y'all. So what I did was I'd been looking at the side. I've been trying to decide, like, is it really worth it? Because what I looked at is that they would have some of the newer varieties, like let's say there were some that were like grown and propagated and cultivated for 2019 in that collection. And what I've seen is that, and I should have brought them up here, but I will take pictures and edit them in and stitch them in at the end so you can see them. Some of the newer varieties, like the Rocky Mountain or the Smoky Mountain collection, I found some just randomly at Lowe's. Another one was that time I showed y'all in the video how there was one that I thought the leaf was variegated, and then I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yes, it is. And I left it. And then when I realized after doing some more research when I got home, that yes, in fact, it was a variegated one, and I had missed out because when I went back, it was gone. All of this had me on like looking online, just kind of researching more with Optimara, trying to understand the different ones, and then I saw some of their guides, and I was kind of looking because I realized that I got two specialty ones. One that I think is either sequoia or like it's one of the mountain varieties, and I can tell because it doesn't just look like a flat African violet leaf, like it's clustered almost like small rosettes, and that to me was so cute and quaint, and I just like the look of it or the aesthetic. And there was another one, so one is kind of like a corally pink or like a salmon pink, a little pinker than this shirt, which I do love this like heathered pink kind of color. And then there was another one that was like a soft baby pink, and I found that one and I said, oh, this is nice. And I just, again, I've always grown roses. Like I helped my grandmother's grow roses. I had a rose bush that I planted at my grandma's house after she passed. And I had several like knockout roses, knockouts and double knockouts and tea roses that I planted at our first house. And they're still there. It's just, we're not living in that house anymore. So it's, anyway, I go by, I can see them, I can still take care of them, but that's not our primary residence, so we'll put it like that. But coming back to this, I liked the look of those different Smoky Mountain collection ones because they're all like double rosettes like that, but they're still violets. So I looked at them and I said, oh, I'm going to try to find these in the store. But so far, despite me looking at Home Depot, at Lowe's, at Walmart even, I haven't seen those other ones. So I said, I don't really want to chance it. And Mother's Day is coming up, so let me treat myself. Treat yourself. I'm so excited. So when I got home today, these were actually sitting out by my mailbox. And I kind of looked at that and I was like, that's strange. Because usually my delivery people walk the package up to the porch and we have like a horseshoe driveway even. So I was like, you could have driven in that like driveway and it would have been like 2 feet from the front door. Like, why is it sitting on the mailbox? So that tried to vex my spirit a little bit. And I said, you know what? I got too much going on today. Hallelujah. Anyhow, let's keep it moving. So I'm excited to see that these look in such great condition because I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, well, at least they're not upside down. So look at this. Oh, wait, that's just packaging. No worries. So, these are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So the top two are kind of like those Rocky Mountain or I think one of these is actually the Rocky Mountain, the top purple one. But the one at the bottom is one of the space, I forget what they call them, space something something, where they were grown and cultivated actually during one of the NASA space missions, and that made them have like some different colors and where they kind of look neon. So when I saw that, I kept thinking, now I hadn't seen any of those in the stores, and two, I wanted one. So I did kind of do my usual. I shopped by like what I saw on sale and what looked kind of like a good bargain price, and that led some of my decisions. So one thing that I wanted was, I don't know if this was marked down or I just saw it and I wanted to try it, is that they had one of these pots that's supposed to be better for violets or like a water wicking setup, I guess. But no shade to Optimara. This just looks like a regular pot to me. Do I have an inventory list? I don't see one. Oh, wait. So one thing that I did get was the Violet Guide. So this is the Optimara African Violet Guide. Why did I get this? One, I thought it was smaller. I thought it was like a pocket pamphlet I could take with me to like Lowe's and Home Depot and ID my plants a little bit. But like I told y'all, I do my research. I try to learn things. I don't profess to know everything. And I really wanted to be able to look and know some of the more specific descriptors or descriptive elements and qualities of African violets. So this guide helps you understand like the actual flower shapes, whether it's a pansy or single. That's kind of what I meant when I said the flat African violets. I was talking about apparently what's called pansy. And then I did say this correct because I was used to that with my roses, where you can have double roses or semi-double roses and just all those different elements. So this will tell you, as the guide says, it's an introductory guide to the It's an introductory guide to the wild world of African violets, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about growing them. They have African violet terms. That's the descriptive part I was looking for. The actual terms to describe them. Basic care tips, flower parts, online resources, leaf shapes, types, colors, and edges. Because those are things that you want to know about your violets, and that if you were to ever, because I'm sure I will at some point, aspire to be a competitive grower. What's that? A competitive grower, in Fran's terms, Fran language, Fran definition, is someone who grows African violets to submit in different societal competitions. Like they may submit it to the American African Violet Association or whatever it's called. Or you may have a competition that's just at your state level. Like let's say it's the Louisiana African Violet Society. Something like that. Now when you go to do that, there's like, I won't say basic criteria, but there are certain criterion elements and factors that they're going to use to like weigh a person's score. So you don't want to just go into that being like, oh, I'm going to pick up an orchid off of my kitchen table and I'm going to go try to compete with it. Like people who are growing competitively, like look for these certain details. They're very strategic. I mean, if you think about an athlete and an Olympic competitor, it's the same kind of thing. Like they really work on this in the best way. As my maternal grandmother always said, if you want to know something, you got to read about it. If you want to know the details of it, and if you want to excel at it, you have to read. And so I know that that's what initially got me started as a bookworm, as a researcher. Then I went on and like worked in research labs at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And no matter what I do, no matter where I am, whatever job, hobby even that I pick up, I spend a lot of time reading, because then you get the knowledge, and it's knowledge that's shared, and it becomes your knowledge when you read it, understand it, digest it, and then use it. So that's my reading rainbow. Take a look. It's in the book spiel. And I did love reading rainbow, still do. So yes, this guy. And even with the leaves, because I noticed that some leaves will have this red underside, and it's like a deep red. If you don't know, sometimes you could look at that and think that means something's wrong with your African violet, or like it's sick. No, it's just a quality of that leaf. Even with some leaves, there are different shades of green. There are different textures. There are different variegations that go on. So when you know about it and you have a guide that can kind of explain it to you, then you're less likely to get distracted when it's growing and doing something that's just normal for them to do. And you're more adept at identifying when you do truly have different pest issues. At least that's my thought, and I'm sticking to it for now. They even tell you here in the tips about light and watering, temperature and humidity, and how to keep it blooming. Because that's one of the biggest questions that you'll hear is people say, it won't bloom, or it was blooming and it stopped. But some people keep their violets in bloom for months, y'all. Like I've had one of my 2018 ones that started blooming for me, or setting buds, I think back in January, and she's still blooming right now. I'll have to stitch that one in at the end too, so you can see it and see some of the progression photos of it. So, sorry, I got distracted because this picture right here shows a mature leaf on a large violet, and it's as big as that person's hand. And then they have a mature leaf for a super miniature variety, and it's so tiny, like you can't even barely see it in that person's hand. I have not yet grown, I don't think, any super miniature varieties, but now I am intrigued. This video is becoming long. If you stick around, you're here for it. If not, I understand, because it's like 12 minutes now. What you doing, friend? Alright. So I ordered, here they are. Now that I have grown some different things and I'm feeling myself, I ordered some leaves to start. So it's kind of cool. They put my little name on it. And, the leaves came with some tags. If you can see that. So, the romance one, I pray to God I can grow these well. I think I'm going to stick these in water, because if y'all have seen, water has been kind of my go-to, and I've gotten good with water propagating. But they came with these adorable little, let's see if I can do this without the glare, Optimara violet tags. And on the tag, on the back, I think it has the name. This is the Optimara variety, Romance. Here we go. And it gives the originator, someone from Germany, and they also include the registered U.S. trademark number and notification that the patent is pending. But they gave me 2 of these tags because I have 2 of these leaves. So beautiful. Oh, and I'll go in and grab the, the image of this from the Optimara site so y'all can see it. But so beautiful. And I don't know. Yeah, so the back side. The back side is this like rosy pink color. And then there's variegation. And when you see this in person, there's kind of a pink hue to this. That's pretty. Pretty. The same sounds I make when I'm looking at the African violets in the store. Pretty. And the other one that I got is a new variety called Loyalty. So that's it. Just a basic tag, not as pretty on that one. And the leaves, nice healthy leaves. So if you look there, you see that variegation? That's what that other plant had that I missed out on. But I am praying that if I get this in a highlight situation, and it likes it. So it's red on the underside. And then this leaf here has better variegation. And your variegation, if we know about our plants, can change based on light exposure, light and the light exposure, the temperature of the room or the area that your violet's in. All of that plays a factor. So in taking this from a leaf, there can be some other variety that it takes on, or some other variants that it takes on. And it's kind of a game of chance. And also even to see if you can make it happy enough to grow in your environment. But I'm here for it now. Like, I'm so deep into this African violet thing. It's ridiculous. For someone who could not get one to bloom for 2 years, if you saw my kitchen right now and how many African violets I have. Now, caveat to that is some of them are going to be gifts for Mother's Day. And they are not saying here, and they're colors that I either don't like, they're not, that they don't spark joy for me, so they're gonna go. So I'm not tempted to be like, oh, I've had this for what, 4 weeks now and I want to keep it. No, they're going. And they were a reasonable price, being that they were like $4 a piece. I felt like that was a good value for a pot that's already set up to self-wick. And if you've seen me say anything about African violets at this point, you know I believe in a good self-wicking pot. So this one is the Rocky Mountain Violet. So it's, I'm reading the tag and I'm reading it all backwards. So of all the different ones I told y'all about, the like Smoky Mountain collection, I'll have to read it again because I'm butchering this, y'all. I don't remember. This one I think is called Rocky Mountain. Look at that. It almost looks like camellias to me. Like, there's something about the flower when I looked at it, I was just like, that is too pretty to, one, not have, and two, to kind of take a shot at like the Russian roulette of just seeing if I can find it in a store. Because from what I've noticed, ones like this that are more of a specialty variety, like, they're not as common in the regular marketplace. Like, I felt like I would need to order this directly from Selective Gardener, because if I were to see it, I'm sure somebody's going to snatch it up. Like, when you walk past this in a Lowe's, that's not a traditional or one of the more common African violets that you see. Like, it's going to catch somebody's eye and it's going to be gone. So I wanted to make sure I got that one. And again, Mother's Day gift to myself. Which one is this one? Look at that baby. Now this is a kind of familiar, what's the word? A familiar shade that I've seen as far as African violets. But I believe, ooh, good condition, no issues here. I'm more just awestruck by looking down at it. This one is, oh, Crater Lake. So this is another one from that, what's the variety name? Let me look it up. I'm surprised I don't have it for this. All right, I found it, y'all, because I had to stop because I was getting on my own nerves trying to figure this out. The leaves that I got, Loyalty and Romance, they're from the series, there's an Optimara Violet, there's an Optimara Violet series that's called Victorian Charm. So those are from that series. And then what I was mentioning about the mountains or whatever, it's from, those are from the National Park series. So this one that I got here is Crater Lake. I said that I had another one downstairs that I stumbled upon in my little acquirings at Lowe's. And the one that I know that I have, 99.95% sure, is Sequoia. Beautiful plant. So I'll put the image for all of these at the end so you have reference. And there is another one that, I don't know if it's in the Victorian Charm series or it may be in the U.S. State series. No, not that one, not that one. No, so Romance. Yeah, Romance I got for the variegated leaves. Modesty, I think I liked that too. But I didn't get it. Why is that? Modesty. Didn't get Friendship or Affection. Is it one of the states? I do also like, I can tell you, I know I'm not logged into my account for Optimara or the Selective Gardener, but I like that on, I think it's the regular Optimara site. They have a guide that allows you to kind of self-ID your plants. And as I mentioned in some other videos, I like getting my different video. I like getting my African violets from Lowe's because at least then you know they're coming with the same Optimara language and packaging on it. So at least you know it is Optimara. So you're somewhat fair game when you go to the website to try to match your or ID it by the photo. And you can also send a picture of your African violet to them and ask for assistance with IDing it. So that part I really, really liked. And I learned that just from, again, browsing the website and doing my research. But when you get them from somewhere like Walmart or Home Depot, and this is nothing against those stores per se, but they're not tagged and they don't have the Optimara labels and branding on it. So you're not truly guaranteed to know that that is sold by Optimara or that it's an Optimara African violet that you can later ID with them, because it's kind of unaffiliated. It's not associated with any particular group. And it could be one that a nursery just kind of like, I don't know, cultivated, pollinated, and did all the stuff so they could grow them and not just cut them from a leaf. So that being said, this one is the Smoky Mountain orchid, also from the National Park collection. And I put, again, this one is not blooming, no flowers at all, but it has a lot of different ones set. So by the time I come back from my weekend travels, this one could be blooming for me. Although, oh, there's one that's opening, so yeah, it'll be blooming soon. Let's see if I can bring that all the way in. See that one there? It's starting to open. But I thought it was really pretty. Again, my usual, pretty, pretty, pretty. This one I'm excited about. And they were packed really well. You know, there was no label at the top, but was looking for a packing slip or invoice or something so that I would know. But let's say the truth. This is one of my, is it called Space Orbit or something like that? Oh, wait. The Everfloris series. At least I think I'm saying that right. Everfloris, in a sensational effort that launched African violets into a new frontier, the Optimara Space Violet program put more than 25,000 seeds into orbit for nearly 6 years. And this unusual step in the annals of potted and flowering plants turned out to be one giant leap that has produced significant and exciting new characteristics of African violets. These characteristics are available in a series dedicated exclusively to space violets. The Everfloris series is comprised entirely of African violets that have been developed from the Space Violet program. They're bigger, easier to grow, with larger, fuller blooms that flower continuously. In fact, these violets are over 16 inches in diameter, making traditional African violets look small by comparison. There's no place on earth you will find African violets like these. And on the website, they're actually often sold as plugs. It is one. You know how legit I am? The side of the tab says space. And this is the EverBeautiful. This one really, really caught my eye. I was pretty excited about it. If you can't tell, even when I look at it on the website, I was just like, oh, I have to have it. I have to have it. It's purple and frilly. And then there's these edges that just catch your eye. Like they're not the average violet that you see. And I had some that I thought, oh, I think this is a space one. But the more I looked at the website, I'm like, they don't have, what's the word for it? Let me look at my guide. They didn't have the same, it's something about the edge. It's like it's a raised edge, but it's also edges. I guess it's a raised edge. The ruffle, that's the word for it. Because I've gotten some that have like that Geneva edge, where it's just kind of scalloped, but that ruffled edge, like it literally is like ruffles. Kind of reminds me of the ruffles that were on like the Easter dresses my grandmother used to get us before, like when my sister and I were young and still wearing ruffles like that. Like, look at this one here. Like, it's just like ruffle, 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 ruffle. And then the leaves too. So let me get this out of its protective packaging. And we're about to get 30 minutes, but don't worry. There's only one left, and I shouldn't talk that much about it, I think. But I just thought this was gorgeous. And then the red leaves on the underside. So I wonder what it was about maybe zero gravity that just made these do something completely different. And I'll have to show y'all another video when these are like no longer in the packaging and set up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 so far, and 2 sets of leaves in a pot. Why did I get that random pot? Oh, y'all, I talk so much smack. Here's the inventory list. Nope, I lied again. That's not the inventory list. This is the direction for the pot that I got. So again, I should apologize because now maybe I remember why the pot is set up so that you put water inside the one piece and then it wicks back into the other part. So let's see. How does that work? Okay. Huh? Oh, okay. Roll pot, H2O cover. Triangular wick, water lid. Triangular wick, water lid. Oh. Okay. This is your cover pot. It goes on the bottom. Your triangular wick goes inside this pot. Some way, somehow. It's going to come down. It's going to come through. It's going to be maybe something like that. Still some up in the top. Your soil will go in here. This will be on the cover, have water in it, and it will draw up the water as the plant needs it. I don't necessarily like the style of this pot, but I'll put something in it. As far as the color, I think maybe I thought I was getting something else. Anywho, the last one, which is going to be worth the wait if you're a true violet lover. I have become a fanatic of the variegated leaf. And this one, spoiler alert, is variegated. And this is Modesty. So this is from that romance collection. Ooh wee, ooh wee, ooh wee. Look at these leaves. Hoo hoo hoo, yeah. I thought that's so pretty. And that probably is another reason why I did the order, because after I looked at it and saw these leaves, and so I think they even had a note that they would give you a note in the description while you were browsing if they were recently in bloom, if they had some that were still too early to bloom. I liked that too, just to give you a sense of what was going on, how things were, and like what you can expect when it came. I can say personally, now I want to take these other wrappers. I'm very impressed by this. Like I said, when I initially saw them and how they had been just deposited by our mailbox over in our neighborhood, I was like, really? Now, given we live in a private gated subdivision now with like security and all that, I guess, man, I don't know if they felt like they could just drop it there because nobody can get in and it's not like somebody's going to walk away from our mailbox with the box, but I would have liked it to have been deposited on my counter, help me Lord, it's late, delivered on my front porch like it normally is. It's just weird. So this is Modesty, so you can see that again. Modesty has a leaf that was broken off, so you know I'm just going to take that, stick it in the dirt, cover it up a little bit. And when I'm doing some of these, honestly, I will just stick them down in the dirt next to their plant parent. I will not say that that's the advised technique. It's going to end up being too crowded, but just to start, because I know I'm going to stick a lot of these in my self-watering containers and let them draw up water that way, it's been working for me, y'all. And I try, again, not to complicate the process. If I can get a system down that works for me and works well, I'm going to roll with it. So sometimes, too, that's easier because then I already know what this is and it's tagged, and I don't have to worry about trying to find another tag and keeping a little 2-inch pot moist. I don't got time for that. I'm almost 2-year-old, and she is running things, honey. I'm going to just unwrap these because mom life, and if I don't do it now, I may not have the opportunity to do so for a few days. And I want to see them. Because now I have a bunch of self-watering pots and containers that I've gotten to review. So it's about to go down. And what I've noticed too is that even though they're shipped like this and they might come like this in the store, that once they're able to really sit and spread, you'll see that nice flat dinner plate look. So this again is Crater Lake. Crater Lake. Beauty, beauty, beauty. I'm still sprung off of this. The back of my head does look too crazy. Life. Sprung off of this Modesty. Oh, my. Got that one. It's like Christmas. Although, I did kind of laugh at myself when I looked at these just now and silently said, girl, if this is your Mother's Day to yourself after one baby, what are you going to do if you have more? I always say I could run out of room for violets. That's a lie. Because that's what shelves are for. I'll get you some more shelves. This again is the Rocky Mountain Violet. No leaves were lost. Oh, I almost spoke too soon. Lost a leaf. But hey, growers, if you are truly into this whole growing more African violets thing, a broken leaf is not a bad thing. Just like I'm doing right here. I'm making some room in the dirt, and I'm going to stick it down in here. And I used to think that was like the most impossible way to try to propagate things and grow stuff until I stuck with it and it started working for me. And I have one violet downstairs that right now has another plant growing on the side of it because it took. So yeah, I just stuck that one down there in the dirt a little bit. I'll probably have to adjust it later, but from my experience again, and this is an unboxing / tip video at this point. If I stick this in the dirt and it stays green like this and doesn't start to shrivel up or get brown on the edge or basically just rot from the moisture, it may not look like it's doing anything. You may not see any new little pups or new babies or new leaves popping up. But as long as it's still green and healthy and kind of firm to the touch, it's doing something. So don't give up on it just yet. I have started not giving up on my violet clippings that I put in water. I stick them to the dirt until they like dry and shrivel up and are dead. I leave them alone. I have a few right now that I have in some of the little, like, you know how you can get the personal serving of jelly like at restaurants or hotels? So I ordered some of them for myself from Amazon. Some came in like a little Christmas advent calendar and the others were just a regular delivery. And I've started using those containers to propagate my African violets because they're small, they can hold up the stem, and they don't take up a lot of room on my windowsill like trying to put other little glasses to propagate things. And I have some that have been in there maybe for a month, going on 2 months, but they haven't died. They're still very firm to the touch. And while they haven't put out roots yet, they're doing something. So I'm just going to give them time because one day you'll look up and there'll be roots popped out. It's like it happens overnight. I don't know what it is. So I just want to say that. Don't give up on them yet. Like if they're there, they're nice and firm. They still have color to it. They haven't turned black or brown and rotted and gotten soggy. They're working on it. So just give them a little bit of time. And that's a life lesson for all of us. Sometimes you just got to give it a little time. Now, take this one out. And this will help you. It'll help me. Let me see what's really going on. I do always notice, too, that these rubber bands that are around the plant against the soil line that can help keep them in place. Sometimes you really have to be careful taking those off because you can end up damaging a leaf while you do that. And you don't want that bad. Oh, that wasn't a leaf. That was my tag, my Smoky Mountain tag. So with this one, It looks like no leaves were lost. I just dropped a little bit of the soil out of the pot. But that's all right. That's okay. And again, this is Smoky Mountains. I need to look and see if there's an Appalachian Mountain one. I need to get that just for that being like where I'm from. I think the Smoky Mountains, aren't those Tennessee? So yeah, I need to get my North Carolina mountain range on. And I think, did I show y'all this already out of the package? Yeah, because that's the one I stuck the leaf down into. This is my Rocky Mountain. I'll let you see it again because it's so beautiful. I just love it. Oh, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous leaves, gorgeous flower. I hope I can make these happy. My space one. I guess I'm going to name this Apollo. It's feeling the vibe right now. I'm so glad I got this one. I feel like now I'm going to want other ones. And if I propagate those two little Victorian Series leaves into some plants, you know, they're going to be, well, I've already done that and gained my confidence. But if I get these, because they were like $8 for the set of 2 leaves. I know. Don't judge me. This was my gift to myself. You don't judge a self-care gift, okay? But if I grow those things and make some ho-ho plants, and they're variegated, like, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. Honey, okay. Let you take this in without it being stuck in the package. Like, y'all see that? Like, doesn't that feel like a trip to the planetarium right now? Between the leaves and everything else. Like, I pray to God this isn't like emitting like solar radiation or anything. Like, I hope I'm not exposing myself to something like I'm going to regret later on. But if I do, and if I have, at least I have lived my best life in doing so, because this, I look at it from the side. This is what I was just looking at. These levels of frills and ruffles, like, it just feels like joy. Why? Why does that make me feel that way? I don't know. But it's like, when you talk about sparking joy, this is like fireworks. Like, I'm sure all the little dopamine receptors in my brain are just like, yay, it's a party, what's going on? I've turned into a complete nerd for the night. But if you're still here and we're almost at 40 minutes, you my people, y'all roll with me and I love it. Maybe at some point I'll do like an African violet giveaway, because I get it. Everybody may not want to invest in this type of heirloom plant because it's an investment. But when you know that this is the kind of plant that you can grow for years and years and years, and like my great grandchildren could still be looking at offsets and continued growth from this plant, that just does something for my soul, my spirit, like my being, to see that much possibility. And I've realized that when I've done some real introspective thinking of myself and why I garden, that's why I garden. Gardening gives me so much hope for tomorrow, because you're literally looking forward to tomorrow, so seeing that growth. So much faith in that opportunity of planting a seed for it to really grow. And I thank God for that. I feel like I often on my other social media channels talk about seeds of faith and garden gospel, and there's something about gardening that just speaks to my spirit, man, when I need it the most. And a lot of times when I do hear from God is when I'm gardening and doing different things, and it's really been instrumental in my life. So I guess I'll wrap up on that note, because this is the last plant. And yeah, I think at some point, if I'm able to grow these and grow these well, maybe I'll do a giveaway where I give away some of these leaves and learn how to pack them well, because they really just put them in these Ziploc bags, which I know I have, and put a piece of cardboard around it to really protect it. So these were together. They were rolled up, not crushed at all by any means. There might have even been a little slip of foam that was in here with them, and they were just stuck in here like this, and they were safe in the box. So I could do that. I got enough capacity to be able to do that. And there might have been a little piece of foam in there with it to keep it from bouncing around, so it was like this against the box, and that's how it was packed. I think I could do that. So the only other thing that is in this box is that I think for any order that was over, I don't know if it was $70, $75, they include some of these pre-measured packets of Optimara Violet Food. So you see that there? And it reads, perfectly formulated to provide essential nutrients for all African violet varieties and blooming houseplants. On the directions, you dissolve 1 packet in 1 gallon of water and use it every time you water your plants. You keep it at room temperature. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packets of this. So that's 6 gallons. And for me, or water my violets, a gallon, I can't say a gallon doesn't go a long way, because it does. I laugh because it would probably go a longer way if I didn't have so many violets that I have to water. No regrets. No regrets, though. None at all. And I will wrap all of this up, and I'm going to show you one of my violets that I've talked about a lot already that has bloomed for the first time since 2019. One second. All right. This is my now blooming, ooh, that's a good shot, my now blooming plant baby. And it had not bloomed for me since 2019. All of 2020, it was just greens and beautiful greens. Excuse me. There were beautiful greens. And like this one is almost the size of my hand. If you look here, it's almost the size of the palm of my hand, rather. Let's see. Oh, bad angle. I'm trying not to spill any water because this is in one of my self-wicking containers. You see here? I just lost a leaf. So we're going to propagate that. But it's in one of my self-watering containers. Needs a little bit more water before the weekend. But you can see, let me bring back into view. Flowers, flowers, flowers. And it took a while to finally decide that it wanted to bloom. But when it did, we had all of this loveliness. And it's just been continuing to bloom for me. So, that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this spur of the moment unboxing and me and my tips and all of that. I hope it was helpful for you. If you've ever wondered about ordering from Selective Gardener and really making that kind of an investment in some African violets, I can say from at least this order that I wouldn't regret it, and I would recommend it. I would say that for some of these specialty varieties right now, that may be your best bet, other than a chance of look at seeing if you can find these in your local store. I definitely liked the level of detail and attention that they gave to really securing these for transit. I wonder, though, how these would have looked. Well, I don't think that, let me go back, because I'm pruning this plant and thinking at the same time. The sticks that they have are the little dowels in all the plants. These help keep the plants from like crushing one another, but I think they're also intended to prevent the pot, like let's say it is turned over and it goes straight over like this, the dowel being down in the pot is going to keep the plant from completely flipping over. Because I was about to say, I wonder what would have happened had this plant been like thrown at my doorstep or at my mailbox in this case and been inverted and upside down. But I think because of those dowels, it still would have been mostly protected, mostly secured. I am sitting on my other phone, sorry. But yeah, if you've ever wondered about these, thought about ordering from them, this again is a Optimara. I think it's one of the, I don't say retired, maybe discontinued or no longer in like broader circulation ones. But it has that pansy shape and this purple color, which I do see a lot. The last time that it bloomed for me, though, it was a really light purple color. And I was telling my mom is that what I have learned from my research is that African violets will give you a different color, sometimes different variegation based on the temperature and light. I think I've already said that in this video. So it's interesting to me that it was in a very bright light office room that I was in. Like 2 of the walls were glass windows. I had been fertilizing it, but not that much because I didn't know then to do the weekly feeding. I was doing like a quarterly, like regular dose feeding, so it wasn't getting the same level of nutrients or fertilizer. It was getting watered, but I would often forget. So by the time I came back in the office, I would probably need to add some more to it. And this time I've been using these self-watering, self-wicking pots, which has been, I think, more consistent. And I don't really let those dry out too much. I kind of refill them before they run down too low. So just to wrap up, I will put a lot of details in the description of this, the links for all the different plants, as well as the link for the fertilizer that I use, as well as the link for some of these self-watering, self-wicking pots that I have found and really liked. And I'll also try to include the images for these different varieties that I've acquired so you can see how they're shown on the Optimara site and what kind of led me to click and pick the ones that I did. As always, this is Fix It with Fran, where I talk about all things faith, family, food, and fun. And what I always want to remind you is that I believe God has given us all gifts and talents that can fix some problem that exists in the world. And while we may not be able to fix everything individually, I do believe that we can all fix something. So till next time, I pray that you would find that thing and fix it. I thank you for watching. I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel and be a part of this growing journey with me. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and become a member of this community that I am trying to cultivate. Just focus on purpose. Sometimes we're moms, growing ourselves, growing babies. You may just be a gardener that wants some good tips. If we're connected, I do believe it's for a reason and it's purposeful. So I'd like to stay connected. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.